Hi, everyone.
Hello again. We have reached page 118 of the Pure Worship book, and on that page they have a panel. I'm not going to read it to you because it's basically a regurgitation of what we just read in the last one from the paragraphs. But of course it's reinforcing the idea, the basic idea being that not only do we, Jehovah's Witnesses, fulfill the valley of dry bones, so this great army that rises up from death is Jehovah's Witnesses in the modern era, but also Revelation 11:3 is fulfilled, you say. The two witnesses who are killed and then rise up again after 3.5 days. Well,
End up not being two.
it's not two, so two doesn't become significant, although apparently in times past when they interpreted it, two was significant.
Yeah.
So who are the two witnesses? Well, they represent the leaders that God raised up after the 1918 death when they were in prison and put them out there where they could do some good. So why does this typology not work, though? Well, because they're using the 70-year exile, the Babylonian exile, as the type, and they are the modern fulfillment, the greater fulfillment of this type. But when you think about the type, who was flourishing during this period of darkness? The 70 years, you say, is a death-like condition. But during that death-like 70 years, who was there? Ezekiel, Jeremiah, and Daniel were all raised up by God. And if you think about the whole 200-year period of the exiles, because it starts with the Assyrians exiling the 10 tribes 100 and odd years before, during that 200 to 300 year period from the beginning of the exile in the days of Isaiah to the post-exile period, Ezra, Nehemiah, Haggai, Malachi, etc. Who's there? Well, I just gave you some of the names. All four major prophets, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, and it looks like at least 10 or 11 of the 12 minor prophets God raises up. So how does God answer deep darkness? He answers with increased light. But you have it that in the antitype, the 1800 years of Christendom, there was virtual total darkness. Well, so what does that say about your view of God?
Yeah, he can't get it together. He can't keep things going.
So the history of Christendom is better described, if you want to look at it prophetically, by the parables of the wheat and the weeds growing together. It's still the master of the field is still Jesus Christ. It's still his church, even if you don't like what's going on in it. It's still his church. Or else the type and antitype thing just collapses, which it does anyway.
And you're supposed to have thrown out types and antitypes anyways, if the witnesses say.
So I think this says a lot about the Watchtower's view of God. It's not the God of the Old Testament. This Jehovah that you have is not the Yahweh of the Old Testament, who when things get dark just sends another prophet. Or in the case of Isaiah's day, sends Isaiah and at least three others, which are Amos, Hosea, and Micah. And then at the time of the exile sends three of the ones we call major prophets, those being Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, and also at least 6 minor prophets, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, and the prophet to Nineveh, Nahum, all sent within a generation, then 3 more during the exile, and 3 more after the exile. So this is not the pattern that is in the Old Testament.
He doesn't abandon them.
No, he doesn't abandon his people. You say that the New Testament is greater light than the Old Testament. We agree with you. But on the other hand, you have it that the darkness was also deeper.
The light came in the person of Christ.
Christ is the light of the world, and when he left, he said, you are the light. You are the light of the world. You are the salt of the earth. And he's never abandoned his church. What are our links? I can't quite read.
No, it's right here, this one. You want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Okay. The link is YHWH org will fall, yet the church will stand. Watchtower myth, Christendom apostate. And that's the first of 4 videos. That's about the wheat and the weeds, right?
The wheat and the weeds, and the one before it, which becomes the matrix from which the other parables derive, which is the parable of the sower. And the sower is the one who calls himself the Good Shepherd. We should never forget that. The Yahweh's solution in Ezekiel to bad shepherds is not no shepherds, which is effectively what you say about Christian history till you came along. It's not no shepherds, it's Yahweh himself will shepherd his sheep. See you next time.
Bye.